Hi, I'm Mike McGrath from Rebasoft, and I'd be delighted to show you around what we are trying to achieve here at Application Auditor. The background of Rebasoft is that we've been in this industry for over 25 years, involved with Netflow and beyond, and back in time. Dealing with Netflow can be challenging itself. The original challenge was to be in a position to collect, store, and present Netflow on a continuous basis. The breakthrough that was made by us as a group came through Cranoak with Netflow Tracker, where we began to, for the first time, provide a solution based around full flow forensics. This again is incorporated within Application Auditor, but we want to move it beyond that. There are certain limits of Netflow. Given that the device that tends to send Netflow is simplistic in nature, it's a packet or a frame forwarder, its ability to understand the application is certainly limited. Its involvement with network address translation and understanding of that wasn't documented when Netflow was developed in 1996, and the ability to understand a subnet once it wasn't being routed was also an issue. These are aspects of Auditor that we've taken into account to provide that extra features and functions required within the industry today. Let's start a demo. Here we have the front end, a quick overview of App Auditor. We have traffic generated across the whole network. We have a view broken down by device. We have a view that breaks down then by device and by interface. We move that on to a subnet definition and how the traffic is interworking between the different subnets. And we have a breakdown also by countries and by domains. Let's go a little bit further here. What we've got is the ability to take data in on a number of different form factors. In this, we have 13 devices sending us Netflow, but we also have some other devices sending us non-Netflow type data. Let's have a little look at Netflow first, what we know and what we're used to. Let's take something like a Juniper little switch that's exporting Netflow to us. You can see it's exporting Netflow by VLAN and by interface. What we'll do is we'll just dig a little deeper into the Netflow. We can see the sessions. You can see the simple ability here to filter, to pick out whatever port or address or whatever, and continue to create a filter and dig through here, as you'd expect to be able to do in a Netflow related tool. But what I want to do is I want to open this out to begin to give you an idea of the differences between Netflow and the other data sets that I'm just about to show you. To do that, I'm just going to open this up in a table format. As I open in the table, what you'll see is a series of columns. These columns are the Netflow fields that are being generated by the device themselves. Standard fields such as source and destination address, TCP flags, protocols, TOS, diffserv values are all being sent here. What we're going to do is we're now going to show you something completely different. Here is Squid Proxy. Right? It's using syslog to transport information to us. But what we're doing is receiving that data, processing that data, and what you can begin to see here is URL-based information. Why? Because of course the Squid Proxy is URL aware. And again, we can continue to use it as a standard tool to dig through these different data sets. So rather than flows, it's essentially sessions at the moment. We can begin to look and see if there's anything with the word face anywhere in it. We can go to produce a report here, and we see that Facebook is appearing here. So the full capability to dig through and work through each of the fields that are here. But again, talking about those fields, let's open this up again. Let's look at all the fields. Let's put this in a table format. So now what we have is we have a device such as a proxy sending us a series of fields that are relevant to itself. Cache code, because it's the caching engine, the method of connectivity, right? We also have the content type and the URL that you saw me playing around with earlier. The beauty of this is that I have an extensive knowledge now of the application based around the URL because of the way the proxy works. But what I haven't done is try to apply this information and append it onto the end of a Netflow record or a Netflow fields. This is a different sheet altogether. Now we're going to take it a stage further. I'm now going to look at a firewall. In this case, it's the powerful SRX and its abilities to extend the fields through into the application as well. So what we have here is a quick and easy session report. Again, the ability to filter. But what I want to do, rather than just running the standard reports here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run all the fields. I'm going to run a table. And I want to show you the extra capability here. Now what we have is we have another set of columns that relate to the firewall. But within these columns, we have very powerful information. We have all the NAT information, the source and destination, how it was translated, the zones, which is obviously the grouping of interfaces on the firewall, the rules that were applied to change the NAT address, the policies, and if the device, this firewall, was using identity and roles to define whether somebody was allowed to pass data through the firewall or not, we would have identity and roles populated here. We have the vendor understanding of the application and whether there was a nested application hidden within that simple application initially. We would have all that. The other thing I'd like to draw your attention to, again, this full session report. I've got 111,000 rows in this here, to the extent that I can even drop it down to 10,000 on the one page here that you can start to look at. This is all built to be straightforward and simple to navigate. Again, coming back to my table over here, what we can begin to do is then start looking at subnets. And again, we can break down our subnets over time. I can jump back here and show you another way of accessing the data. What you've previously seen is what we would call App Auditor, or my application correlation engine. This here is my network correlation engine. And why would I show you something like this? Well, basically what I want to try and do is show you the concept of users, picking a user, seeing where they're connected. So this engine here is the network correlation engine. I can click on the IP address for Lee's PC. I can then begin to say, well, I wonder what Lee is doing through the proxy. And what I'm doing now is reaching out to App Auditor for that IP address of Lee's machine to see what he's actually doing at the moment. He could be on YouTube. So this shows a very simple view of relationship between the two engines that we have, Auditor and App Auditor. Coming back to App Auditor, again, the ability to relate the subnets, in this case, to two 6500s. Coming back to App Auditor, what I want to highlight here is the ability to present by subnet. In this case, it's quite interesting. This is a data center with two 6500s, and I can allocate the subnet per 6500. There's Z and A. So this is the computing. These are the two computing VLANs based across the two 6500s, and we can see the traffic distribution across those two 6500s. We can click through onto that particular VLAN. You see it's on hub A. We can see the traffic profile, and we can see the subnets, the countries, and the individual IP addresses and the quantity of traffic that's being generated by each of those IP addresses within that subnet. Again, just to summarize, what we have is a full flow forensics, as you would know from a Netflow perspective, but now we've added a full session forensics, including NAT. We're fully application aware based on the technologies that understand the applications the best. That includes nested and URL based application awareness. We're location aware, be it by country. So to summarize, what we have is a full flow forensics that you've come to expect from a Netflow perspective. We've now added full session forensics, including the NAT capability. We've added application awareness, both nested and URL based. We've got location awareness through GeoIP and subnet awareness and location. We have created the tool to make it as easy as possible to deploy and to use. It's also built to be scalable, multi-tenant and multi-platform. It can work standalone, or as you saw in the quick demo there, it can be integrated very quickly and seamlessly. What I'd like to offer you is the opportunity to download the tool. I'll provide the license, you provide the network, and hope to see you derive a proof of value from using Rebasoft App Auditor. Thank you for listening.